Okay, so today we will be doing lab assignment that is based on Amazon RDS service, that is Relational Database Service. So we will create one database instance on this RDS platform, and we will connect with that database instance through EC2 instance or through your any MySQL workbench environment or some other environment that is present on your system. So you can connect with your system also, right? So you can connect with the database instance that is created on AWS platform through either EC2 instance or through your own machine. RDS service directly. So you need any virtual machine or normal system to connect with the server. So for that purpose, what we will be doing, we will be creating one EC2 instance and we will be connecting our RDS service with that EC2 instance. I will show you through both the way. I will connect with my EC2 instance and I'll show you the connectivity of the RDS service from that instance, as well as I will show you connectivity from MySQL workbench environment that is present in my system. So I'm just going to open here. So here I will be going to RDS service first. So RDS is a managed relational database service. So I'll go and click here. So right now you will see no database instances available, right? So we can create, if you go to databases, no database will be reflect here. So I'll go and I'll create database. So it is little bit slower, so it takes time. So there are two ways to create database. First one is standard create and other one is easy create. So if you just want to create a light version of the database with not that much feature inbuilt in that, then you can go for easy create. But we are going to here is standard create, where you can apply some kind of security. You can take backup of that database and you can provide maintenance also. So now RDS is supporting six type of database engine: Amazon Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and MySQL Server. So we will be opting MySQL option. You can select any of the other option according to your requirement. So after this one, MySQL community version, what community you want to access. So engine version is MySQL 8.0.28. That is the default version. So I'm keeping the same. I'm not changing that one. Now after that, it will ask you what kind of template you want. Whether you want to use this RDS service for production environment, dev or test environment, or free tier account. So right now we will be accessing to free tier account. Okay, so if you will go to production and dev or test environment, some of the feature will be added to the instance, but if you will go to the free tier account, some feature will be disabled. So I'll show you which feature will be disabled. So now after that, so you can see here availability and durability. So there is multi-AZ cluster option, right? That is disabled, means you cannot deploy your database in multiple availability zone for availability purpose or durability purpose, you can say here. If you go to production environment, so you can create replica of your database instance in some other availability zone that will make your database available if there is some fault in one availability zone. But right now, if you go to free tier option, in that case it will not be provided here. If you go to dev and test environment, still you will get this option, but if you want to use free tier account, in that case you will not be able to go for multi-AZ option. By default, single DB instance will be created and that is opted. Now database instance identifier. So suppose in your platform, right, in AWS platform, multiple database instance you have created, so that can be identified, like that can be distinguished from each other using this identifier. But right now I have not created any database here, so I will keep this as it is, that is database 1. Now this credential is very much important, so you need to provide username and password when you will try to connect with the database from your EC2 instance or from your MySQL environment that is present in your system. So whatever master username and password you are keeping, you need to remember that username and password. So username is right now admin, so I will keep this same here, and I will provide one password here. So any password you can write here. Okay, so whatever password you are keeping here, you need to remember that password. Now after that, you can see instance configuration, right? What should be the database instance type? So if you are selecting free tier account, so by default option that is available for us is burstable class, right? So T class type of instance type it will be selected, which will allow you to select one virtual CPU to 8 virtual CPU, right? So maximum 8 virtual CPU you can opt. So I'm selecting db.t2.micro, that is allowing us to select one virtual CPU, 1 GB RAM, and this one is not EBS optimized. So you can go to maximum 4 virtual CPU, 8 virtual CPU and 32 GB RAM if you are selecting free tier account, and you can select all these options. But if you just want to see what will happen if you go to dev test environment, right? So if I'm going to dev test environment, production environment, in that case you will see these two class options are available. So standard class and memory optimized class. If you go to standard class, so here you can see the maximum number of virtual CPU that you can get is 96, right? And the RAM space will be 384 and network speed will be 19,000 Mbps and instance store will be 3.6 terabyte, right? If you go to memory optimized, so here you will get higher RAM, but number of the CPU will be same, that is 96 CPU, okay? But RAM space you are getting double from the from this standard class, right? So here you are paying more. So because we are using development or testing environment or production environment, that's why we are getting more virtual CPU and RAM. But for the free tier account, you will be allowed to burstable class, and here we are getting only 32 maximum virtual 8 virtual CPU and 32 GB RAM, not more than that. Now after this one, if you go down, storage type, right? So storage type can be GP2 general purpose SSD or general purpose IOPS or magnetic. So magnetic is the cheapest option, and that is not recommended because this one is not in use these days. So GP2 is the cheapest one, IO1 is the like costlier version. So we will be going to select GP2, not anyone else. And if you want to use normal free tier account, so for the allocated storage space for GP2 can range from 20 GB to 16144 GB. So minimum is 20, right? So if you want to enable storage auto scaling, so in that case it will be enabled from 22 to 6144, right? And maximum, so after what storage space you will not allow, or like you are setting threshold, right? So you can write some value here that should be greater than 22 and that should be less than 6144. So I am not enabling storage auto scaling because we know that we don't need more storage space. Now if you are going to connectivity part, so there are two parts, right? You don't want to connect this RDS with EC2 instance directly. If you will go to connect this option, you need to create one EC2 instance first, right? If you are going to this option, that means we can connect to this RDS service from either from EC2 instance or from our systems environment, right? So I'm going to select this option. Later on I will associate, but right now I'm selecting this option only. And network type, I'm just selecting IPv4 network connection. Now VPC will be default VPC. So if you are creating database at that time, whatever VPC you have selected, you cannot change that one. Now subnet group, right? So whether you want this subnet group to publicly accessible or not. So I'm allowing this one. Why? Because I want to connect from my system also. as well as EC2 instance. Otherwise, if you want to connect only with EC2 instance that you are creating right now, so in that case, you can make it no also. Now coming to VPC security group. So I want to create one security group right now. Okay, so I'm just writing RDS SG because the same security group I will use when I'll create my EC2 instance. Okay, so availability into zone preference, I'm not providing any preference here. If you go to additional configuration, here you need to provide port number. So I'm not providing any port. So port number is the default port number for RDP for database connectivity is 3306. So I'm not changing that. Database authentication. So either you can provide password authentication or IAM and password authentication or Kerberos and password authentication. So we are just going to password authentication where we will provide master username and password. Now, if you want to enable monitoring option, you can enable. If you go to additional configuration, you can provide initial database name that once you will connect with the database either from EC2 instance or any other machine. So you want one database should be available. I'm providing this database name that should be available when I'll try to connect with my EC2 instance or from my system. So I'm disabling this automated backup option. You can take backup also if you want to take. So I'm not providing any maintenance kind of window here. And if you will enable delete on protection, you will not be able to delete this database unless and until you are allowing to delete option. So now right now you can see whatever resources I have selected, that is in the limit of the free tier account. So now I'm just going to create my database. Okay, so the database will be created after some time. So right now if you go here, you can see database is in creating phase, right? So once it will be created, you will be seeing that database is available. So right now what I can do, we can create one EC2 instance, right? So I'm going to EC2. Here I need to select, right? So RDS and EC2 instance both should be in same availability zone, right? So I need to check here first what is the availability zone of my instance. So this one is present in AP South 1B. So I will create my EC2 instance also in AP South 1B. Okay, so I will launch instance. Okay, so before launching this instance, I will go to security group. Okay, not from here. I will go to EC2 dashboard, and there on this in the security group. So I have created one security group RDS SG, right? So I need to check which one is today's one. Okay, so I think this one is the today's created RDS instance, right? Okay, so I need to check first. So if you go to RDS, go to instances. With this instance, if you go to the option, so RDS-SG, right? So I will go to the security group directly from here. In the inbound rule, I will edit this inbound rule. So I am allowing it from anywhere. So I will allow SSH connection from anywhere. I will allow MySQL Aurora connection from anywhere and IPv6 also, and SSH connection from anywhere IPv6 also, right? Because the same security group I will use for EC2 instance as well as RDS connection. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, okay, so we have done changes in the security group. Now if we go to EC2 dashboard, so we will launch one EC2 instance, that is Linux instance, RDS EC2 I'm writing here. And the Linux machine that I want to select, I just want to select the previous version because there will be some security issue. So I will create one key pair, RDS KPP, and the file type should be PPK file. Okay, so I will select the existing security group, that is, I need to write here RDS SG, right, the one that we created today. So after that, nothing is required. So I will launch my instance. If you go and check, I just want to see the running instance only. So there is no instance available. So after some time it will be available. So we need to wait for that time. Okay, so now you can check that database is in available state, and you can see current activity is none, 0 connection is made. Now what I want to do, I want to copy the endpoint name, and this one we will use to when we will connect to my MySQL workbench environment. So I will connect through MySQL workbench environment. So here you can see some previous connections are already made. So I will create one more connection. In the connection name, I am just providing RDS AWS, something like that. In the host name, I need to paste the endpoint name that I copied. In the username, I need to write admin. In the password, I need to use the same password that we created with at the time of the instance creation. And after that, we need to test the connection. So if everything will be fine, then it will be connected. So you can see here, successfully made the MySQL connection. Okay, so that means my connection is okay. Now create an OK button. You can see one connection instance is made here. Just go and click on that instance. You will see I'm connecting with my database. So RDS AWS I am connecting, and one database is HR database that I created, that is visible here. Okay, so now I am connected to my RDS instance. So I will run one script file, and then we will see. So this one is the database, HR database that we will be using. And in this database, there is an employee table. We will be working on the employee table itself, not any other table. So I'm importing the database first, and then we will run all these commands. So just go here and so I'm just going to all file. So this one is HR script file. So one file is opened here. So many other commands are also present, so I'm not going to talk about those commands. Okay, so when I will run all the command, so it will create multiple tables. So if you go to tables now, so earlier no table was present, now these many tables are present. We will work on the employee table. So on employee table, these are the, you can say, column, right? So I'm just going to discuss about first statement. So write a query. So I'm just writing it here. So what I want to do, so I want to write a query in SQL to display the full name, right? So how that would be possible? Okay, so that would be possible. So I will write select. I want to display full name, right? That will contain first name and last name. If you see the employee table, there is first name column and last name column, but there is no full name column. So I need to do concatenate operation. First name, comma, last name, as full name, and what other column we need? We need salary column. Salary column from employees table where salary is less than 6,000. So I will execute this query. So you'll see you got the full name of the employees whose salary is less than 6,000. So like this, you can run some other query also. If you go and check the third query, second query is similar to the first query, so I'm not going to do that. Now write a query in SQL to display the first name and last name and the department number of all employee whose last name is McEwen. So what I want to display here, so I want to display first name, last name, right? Select. So first name, comma, last name, department ID from employees where last name equal to McEwen. So when I'll run this query, I will get only one person whose name is ending with McEwen. So I'm getting the reply. So you can see we can connect with the RDS service through anywhere, like we are connecting from my system. Now what I want to do, I want to connect through this RDS instance through my EC2 instance. So we can do that. So we can connect with the EC2 instance through PuTTY. So go to PuTTY and provide IP address private IP address or public IP address of this EC2 instance, and then we will go to SSH auth and we will provide the private key file. Okay, so I need to connect it. So I will open putty again and I will paste the public IP address, go to SSH auth, browse, and now I will be able to, earlier I was connected through my university account, but there were some firewall issues, so I was not able to connect. Now on this machine, I will install MySQL workbench, MySQL environment first. So we need to take root permission first, sudo su. Then we will install MySQL, install -y MySQL. Then after this one, MySQL will be installed in my machine. You can see now it is completed. Now after this one, I will connect, right, with my RDS instance. So MySQL -h, so host name will be my RDS instance, so that you can see the endpoint name. So I will be copying from here. This one is my host name. Then after that, I will provide -u. Username is admin. Then -p for password, and then you can provide database name. So when you will hit enter, it will ask your password. So I'm just providing my password. Okay, so you can see I'm connected to my instance, that is, and you can see here HR database. I'm connected to the HR database right now. Okay, so now if you want to see show tables, so you will not be able to see any. You can see now table information is present here, right? Why? Because I connected through MySQL workbench environment. I created table there. So you can see all the tables will be appearing there in the MySQL workbench environment. So you can see here it is showing here, right? Now if you will write select star from users, so user table, so you will see the information about the user table, so how many columns are there and all. So what I did, I connected through EC2 instance as well as MySQL workbench environment that was present in my systems. Through both the way, I showed how to access RDS service that is running on any AWS machine. So that is it about today's lab that we have done. Thank you.